Hey everyone, hello. It is September 18th, 2025. And here we are with 3 out of 5 of us. I know Yvonne had at the last minute had to back out, and we're kind of hoping Kate will show up with us today. And hi everyone. Uh, it's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see you. Everybody doing well, I hope. Go
Life
ahead.
happens.
Yeah.
I sent you guys all, I always say I'm going to send one thing and then I always throw you guys for a loop and send something a little different. But I found these and I just liked them. Anyway, there are some questions and it's like a miniature scenario with, a question at the end about, what the card would say, and then pull a card and see what it tells you on this. Now, Dee, you were just saying that did you pull 9 cards or did you just pull one card?
I pulled one card. I pulled one. Well, I shuffled and if a card flew out, I took it, or if a couple, I took it. But after
Okay.
doing a couple of those, I just went, oh, forget that.
So Dee cheated and she cut corners, but she said, "Hey, the eight of what you said, the 8 of cups covers it all. Just,
Everyone,
just
eight of
walk
cups.
away from
Done.
all of it and forget it." Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
there you go.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully Kate will chime in here shortly. So the first question was, you've been working on a long-term goal and you've hit a wall. The drive you once had is gone and you feel stuck. What does this card tell you about the next step? What did you guys get?
Huh.
Go ahead, Anne.
Henry,
Well,
what'd
I
you get?
I got the magician.
Oh,
Wow.
And what the magician, okay, so what is the actual question? What does this card tell you about the next step?
yeah.
I would card tells you that the next step is totally up to you. You've got everything going for you. You've got you've got all the tools on the table. You're connected to heaven and earth. You've got the lemniscate above your head, which tells you everything can go around, can keep going around nicely. So really, you've got to make the choices. You've got to do this yourself. But think about what the magician does. He doesn't leave anything to chance. He practices and practices and repeats the same thing over again until he is sure he's going to get the result he wants. It seems effortless at the end of the day. So really, you've got to hang on in there. What you've been working and you've hit a wall. So where is it? Where are you going wrong?
Yeah.
I'd be asked, where exactly are you going wrong? There's the only reason for you to be going wrong is if you decided to give up because you've got everything. And coming up with the magician, I feel he's the spark that you need to get started again. So ask yourself, are you prepared to put the work in to
Yeah.
give yourself a bit of a dart that will get started again? Because you've got everything you need. You've got everything. The only thing you haven't got is incentive. Okay, so think just
Ah, but wouldn't you have incentive with the magician? Because the magician is the initiator, right? He is the instigator. There would be your motivation.
so I'm thinking, like, but what could you tell yourself? I mean, what could you tell yourself that would incentivize you to stay going? Because the magician, we see the result of what the magician does. We see him coming out and doing these mind blowing tricks, and we think of, oh, my God, he's wonderful, or how easy is this? Whereas he has spent hours and hours and hours getting to this stage. So you've got to be prepared to put the work in behind the scenes and look for a break. But find out, I would sit down, do a little meditation and ask you, what do I have to think or feel or be aware of or want enough so that I can break through this temporary um, hiccup? What do you want to do?
Mhm.
Find out what you really want, because maybe it is simple, as simple as you haven't decided what you really want. So when you have that bit, I remember a priest saying one at the time, it was about children going to school. I was saying, how do you get these chaps to study? And he was saying, when you find something you really want, no one will have to push you.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
That's
on
true.
board, what do you really want to do going forward, and then go for it. But you've
That's
got what
great. That reminds me of what I'm doing right now. I'm in the process, and I'm kind of stuck, but I got to get unstuck because I don't have time. But I have taken down my Learn Tarot in 10 week program off my Etsy, and just because I just didn't like the way that the students were participating, and so I'm redoing it, and I'm going to put it back up here shortly. But I remember back when I was teaching investment club education, and we had this form that it was really a pain in the rear to fill out. But at the end of the day, it gave you all this really cool information and what the odds were that this particular stock would go up instead of down, and the odds and all this stuff. And what a couple of us got together and figured out was if you taught somebody how to read it, right? You started at the end and you got them real excited about it, then they wanted to learn how to do it. They wanted to learn the hard part.
Okay.
And it's true. It's like if you show somebody something, they want to learn how to do it. So I think that I'm going to kind of do the same thing with my tarot.
This suddenly struck me looking at the very first sentence here again. You've been working on a long-term goal and you've hit the wall. To my mind, there's something in that long-term goal that isn't enough for you or isn't ringing your bells anymore. I would visit your long-term goal and see how you can tweak that so that you might break it down into chunks so that it's easier to achieve and have a sense of satisfaction from having done step 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is
True.
something this is something so hard or so far away from you that you think it's never going to work, so you keep giving up. So break it into chunks, go for step 1, 2, and 3, and see how that works. And see, is your long-term goal the same now as it was when you started this?
Yeah.
Because it may have changed.
Yay. Well,
Wow.
I pulled the star for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled out my original Morgan Greer tarot, my
Right.
first edition. I've had this deck for 42 years.
Oh my
Isn't that
goodness.
amazing that I've had it that long? Anyway, I got the star, and I'm not as uh, deep down in the weeds as you got, but I decided that I was on the right path. And I'm going to reread the question because it's been a while. All right, you've been working on a long-term goal, you hit a wall, your drive that you once had is gone, and you're feeling stuck. Pull a card, and what does the card tell you about your next step? And it tells me that I'm on the right path. So whatever my next step is, just keep going forward. If I remain optimistic, right, and I believe that my spirits are watching over me, then inspiration will come back to me. It will come. And I think I only need to just ask the universe for help, because sometimes I think we forget to ask for help.
Yes.
And it's really there. I was talking to you guys earlier about needing a new perspective on something that I'm kind of feeling chumpy about. And I actually asked Spirit to, can you please help me with a new perspective? And oh my God, it's like I got this wake up call this morning, and it's like, wow. So, that really helps. But I think it's believing that, it's kind of like the Empress. I always say about the Empress, create what it is that you want in this world. If you want something, put it out there, because until you put it out there, you have to ask. The universe doesn't just hand us stuff, you have to ask for it. So that's mine. Dee, what did you come up with?
Well, like I told you, the first thing I shuffled and card flew out, and it was the Queen of Swords.
I love that Ehrenberg deck.
Yeah, Ehrenberg deck. You're right. And the first thing I thought of when it came to me is, okay, I have a friend who's the Queen of Swords. I need to give her a call
Mm-hmm.
and see what she has to say to me, because if I'm feeling stuck, it's like you said, I took too big of a bite of something, and I need to come back and get it in my perspective, and be able to. It's got out of hand for me, and this person will troll me in and say, "Hey, this is what you've done so far, and now work at the pieces that you are able to do, but maybe it's time for a break. Maybe you just need to slow down and not push so hard and look at what you've already accomplished and be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah.
But then again, you heard what I said earlier. 8
Yeah.
of Cups. If that doesn't work, walk away.
Now, something else struck me there. Two things struck me. Sorry now for butting in, but it struck me as saying there, the Queen of Swords. Are you being truthful with yourself?
There you go.
You know, are you telling, is what you're looking for, are things working for you? Have you bitten off, as you were saying, more than you can chew? Should you be scaling back a bit?
Mhm.
Do you really believe that you can, not that you can do this, because probably you can do this. It's like they ask about how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. That
Yes.
probably do it, but not all in the one go, and you're losing patience. And another thing strikes me about the magician. The big thing about the magician, I've always felt, is that you've got everything. He's even giving you the incentive. But do you believe it? Deep
Right.
down, do you believe you can do this?
Yeah.
It might be something as simple as that you're not getting behind yourself and giving yourself the drive you need. Do you believe you can do this? And chunk it down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now this might all seem like, I mean, it's like it's like I said, called it earlier, going down into the weeds. But for the people that watch our podcast, which are aspiring tarologists and people just trying to get a new perspective or a little deeper. I don't. Do we ever really finish coming up with new and various ways of looking at these cards? I think never, never. So I think these are such good exercises to do and to think about because it does make you have to delve in and look at the card or look at the situation from a different angle, sometimes, and it really does help.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let's move. Go
when
ahead.
people are saying there, if they even picked one thing out of what we were saying about each card,
That's
just
right.
one, pick it out and say, how does it resonate with me? Or is it, because the chances are, if you pick one thing out, it's meant for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So question number 2, or item number 2. You've been feeling a lack of purpose or direction lately. Everything feels a bit gray, and you're not sure how to find the color again. What guidance does this card offer? Anne Marie, what'd you get?
well, I got the Hermit. And
Ooh.
again, I would with the question, everything does seem gray, dull, and in there you're kind of looking down.
Yeah, he
Uh,
looks like kind of a dull boy, doesn't he?
yeah, he just
I
he
wouldn't
looks
take him to a party, but
he, is, he looks as if, but he might throw off that cloak and surprise you.
ooh,
Uh,
wonder what's
but
underneath.
the thing about it is, it looks as it looks as if you're in a grey mental space, which is what you say you are. So what I'm wondering is, have you been listening to too many people? Is your head full of you should do this, you shouldn't do that, I don't believe you're doing this? Have you been listening? Have there been too many? Have you been getting too many opinions on what you should, could, or should be doing? Is it time to go back inside and trust what your gut feeling is telling you?
Mm-hmm.
I get
And
that. I see that a lot with the hermit. It's time to quit listening to other people and figure out what it is that you want. I
and
get
and
that
maybe
a lot.
just figure out, not to, this is not for a lifetime. Maybe figure out what you want to, what do you want to happen in your life, in the next month, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months. What can you do to bring a little bit of color, just a small thing? Because again, like the magician, are you waiting for a big rainbow to come in and transform your life from dull gray to
Yes.
fabulous? Because it isn't going to happen. So do it in little chunks. So no more than Dee saying about the 8 of Cups. When you think of it, the magician or this card could do the same thing. Chunk it down. Things are not going to happen magically or all of a sudden. You've got to work at it and decide. So decide, what way do you want next month to be, or what one thing could you do in the next month that would give you a lift,
Yay.
and shake yourself out of that initial feeling.
Do you,
At least you'll be on the road.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Dee, what about you? What did you
Um,
pull for this? How are you
I
going to bring
pulled,
color back?
I pulled the magician. And I'm going to say this. Let's go back to what, And Marie said, I say everything that she said in the last previous card about your potential, your look into yourself and take action. You've got everything you need. You just kind of lost your way a little bit. But yeah, and I've got this great magician card. Looks like Halloween.
Yeah.
But I guess to me, oh, and another card flew out when I was doing this, and it was the Page of Sword. It just says you've been delayed a little bit. But it's not to say stop, just look at it again. Ask yourself the question. Where you want to go, back up, take a look at it again. You've got what it takes to get where you're going.
And to get the Page of Swords, when you think of the Page of Swords, sometimes they say to us that a page, I think our man, Mr. Battisti used to say that a page is about starting to walk on a new path or in a new direction.
Yeah, I got that from him. And now to me, that's my go-to for any page is first, it's a change in direction.
Yes.
Right? And second, it's messages coming in. And that I've gotten from this group, like pulling. Now I always want to pull a clarifier, on the page.
But that, yeah, okay.
So I got, you guys, I got did I get the Six of Wands? I did. I got the Six of Wands.
Oh.
Okay.
And again, the question is, feeling a lack of purpose or direction. Everything feels gray. How do I get, what guidance does this card offer? And this is what the note I wrote to myself, rudderless. This can happen when you plateau, right? It can happen when you hit a plateau. Life always seems to be pushing us forward. It doesn't give us any time to really appreciate our own accomplishments. And so we really need to stop trying to prove ourselves to others. When we give our senses a break, it breathes color back into our thoughts. Because I just think people around us, and trying to always be the leader, always being the voice of reason wherever you are, always trying to take care of everybody else. I do think it kind of washes the color out of our lives.
Puts you under pressure all the time.
Yeah.
Never quite live up to your own or other people's expectations. Or
appreciate. And the nice thing about the Six of Wands is, it's about that adoration. It's about that, getting the accolades that you deserve. It's patting yourself on the back, I mean, you're halfway there, right? It's a victory card. You've got the victory wreath. And, I think it's, hey, patting your own self on the back every now and then, because we don't do it enough, I don't think. And I think when we can appreciate what's around us, stop and, just appreciate what we've done and where we are. I just think that keeps that color in our lives and keeps it bright.
And again, when you say about the victory card, it could be now that you have got on very well. People have been telling you how wonderful you are and how well you've done. And suddenly you kind of hit rock bottom and saying, where can I go from here? And suddenly it's a challenge to keep up this standard that you have set for yourself. And you're thinking, can this be done or not? And again, it can, but it needs a new purpose, a new goal, a new short-term goal that will lead you, or three short-term goals that will lead you just up a ladder instead of plateauing or down.
So for those listening in, it's what Anne-Marie, what you're doing is really, I'm hearing you giving the querent or whoever is asking the question or providing that. That is the epitome of giving people something to take with them. I think it's so important when people walk away from your reading table. I like to give them something to take, give them something that they can do, give them, and of course, I always think hope is the first thing you should give them. But after that, it's like, just give them ideas of how the cards that they've been given, the cards that, were absolutely meant to be there for them that day at that moment, that there's something in that message that we can pull out for them and take it away.
Yeah.
That was the one you got the magician for, right, Dee?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, you discover a close friend has been talking about you behind your back. You feel hurt and betrayed, but you're not sure if you should confront them or let it go. What does this card reveal about your best path forward?
Hmm.
That's really a question. It's a, you know,
Eight of Cups. Eight. I see Eight of Cups.
uh-oh. Oh, well, that would make sense then there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What did you get, Amory?
I'm just looking at it.
Oh,
No, I mean, I had looked at it before, and I have written down something, but something else is striking me now. The sevens anyway are generally in my feeling about it. They're about standing back and taking and assessing the situation.
what
And
did you pull? Seven of what?
I beg you, Seven of Pentacles I pulled.
Oh my gosh, look, you guys.
Oh my goodness, there
You
you
both,
are.
Oh
you
my
both did.
gosh.
That. So I have written down retreat and reconsider options going forward. It's a fire energy. How does this affect you? Why is it upsetting you? What's your gut feeling about it? But something else strikes me as well. Being the sevens, it's about something that let me look at the question again, number 3. It says, you discover a close friend has been talking about you behind your back. So it's about being attacked on something you value, which is your opinion, your feeling of self-worth has been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can ask yourself, how is it affecting you, or why is it affecting you? Is there what was this person saying behind your back? If it's something that is not true, that's one thing. But is there a grain of truth in it that you don't like, which would be far more likely to upset you, I think. So sometimes it's just a thought that came into my mind when I looked down at my page here.
But I'm thinking about that, Amory, and I'll tell you right now, it's when I was growing up, when I was a kid, they called me Chatty Cathy. It's
Mm,
like, and it's kind of funny, and I can see the humor in it, these days. But if I heard that, what I'm saying, and I mean, I would be the first one to tell you that that's what I was called. But if I heard you, if I heard somebody said, yeah, that they think you're a real Chatty Cathy. See, now it's not so funny when you're hearing it back, it's not so funny when it's coming from somebody else that, you respected or you trusted. So I see sevens as a retest for me. That's my thing. That was from my Mary Kay Greer Mountain Tarot thing. I see it as a retest. Now I'm using this Morgan Greer deck, but I pulled these cards with my Shimmelte deck. And my Seven of Pentacles, in my card, it looks like the guy is pruning the vines that have a chokehold on the trunk of a tree. It looks
okay.
like he's pruning that. Friendships change over time. We need to decide whether or not our expectations have changed with it.
Yes. Yes.
If I enjoy your company and I have no higher expectations, I may not take your candid opinions of me so seriously, but my expectations of you will color that. And
Mm,
so I think that the path forward may be to trim that friendship a bit. I don't
mm,
think, one thing I took one Scientology class when I was like 18 years old in California. The only thing I got out of it was this. If somebody lets you down and you don't have to dislike that person or get rid of that person out of your life. You just have to not trust that person past that point again. That's all. And let it go.
mm.
So yeah, I think yeah, I think that we're always being, I think, it's
This
it's a test. It's a test being a friend, isn't it? I mean,
is an ongoing situation. This is a
yeah.
day ongoing situation. Some people just have too much to say about other people. That's just their way of doing things. But what the question is, come to think of it, where is the question? What does this card reveal about the best path forward? So if we think about it, you've heard that your friend has been talking behind your back. You feel hurt and betrayed, but you're not sure whether to confront them or let it go. So what do we think about that? What's your best path forward?
Mm.
I really think it depends on your personality. Myself, yeah, I'm in your face like immediately. It's
Mm,
like I'm gonna go, what the F is your problem? You know, I mean, but that's just me. You know, I
Mm.
like to confront situations and because otherwise they build up in me. So I would
Well,
rather do that. And if I was hurt, if I felt hurt and betrayed by it, I would rather confront it and say, you know, where do we go from here? And what's, you know, is there, you know, I always want to know if there's something behind it. What did I do to cause that? You know, what did I do to cause them to do that? And that's me taking on, you know, more responsibility than I need to. That's me taking on somebody else's issues
Yeah.
instead of,
Yeah, right.
you know
You
what I'm
don't
saying? Instead of letting them have their own issues,
mm.
letting them define their own issues. It's like I just automatically want to say, what did I do? But what did you pull, Dee?
I pulled the strength card.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And
Grace under pressure.
basically, that's how I guess I would probably have gone about it. Strength from within. What
Mm.
discipline, what I would ask myself, how far do I want to get into this? How much energy do I want to waste on it? And um, just as far as confronting it, I'm not going to put that guilt trip on myself. I guess I just see it as going inside and saying, "All right, I'll be do better next time." I
Mm.
You know,
I learned a
that's
lesson.
so interesting because you and I have been friends for so long. And it's so interesting because we both have very strong sense of self. We both have very strong sense of character and conviction. And yet I tend to harbor things and you are so good at just letting them go. You
Mhm.
know, you just like, oh, I got something. You have things to bake. I know you. It's
I do.
like you have food to make.
I do.
You
I
don't
do.
have time for this other petty crap.
Well, I just
It's so
figured
funny.
let them do it. If they want to go ahead and let them go ahead and do what they want to
Right.
do.
Mm.
Because it if it doesn't encircle me, then okay.
Mm.
There's at 8 of cups.
Yes.
Walk away.
So
Mm.
here we go with number 4. You've been asked to take on a new project at work that feels overwhelming and beyond your current skill set. What does this card say about how you handle this pressure? That'd be great for the strength card, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, I got the strength actually.
Did
That
you?
strength card fell. It
Oh,
fell out when I was doing it, but um, I actually pulled the 10 of Wands.
ooh, burdensome, burdensome.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what
it's
does this tell? What does this card say about how you handle this pressure?
well, it's basically
Not well?
prioritizing. To prioritize it, step back, prioritize it. Maybe I have to set better boundaries. Maybe I have to delegate some of it. But then that strength card, when it laid there, I just thought, well, there's that inner strength thing again. You know, where
Yeah.
is it going to take me? And I'll just utilize that as well. But yeah, 10 of Wands.
Mm.
Emery?
I pulled the High Priestess.
Ooh.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Is she going to tell you?
Um,
Is she going to tell you
no,
what
no, I don't think.
anything?
I think when you pull the High Priestess, it says to me that there's hidden info here that you don't know about. She can be secretive and mysterious. She has a veil behind her. She doesn't want you to see everything that's happening. So I wondered, should you maybe find out more about the project, find out more about what's behind the veil? You might be worrying yourself over nothing. You might find when you break down what has to be done, again, this whole breaking down thing is coming in the whole time, because even with 10 of Wands that Dee got, you can carry 1 wand, 2 wand, 3 wands. You can't necessarily carry 10 together at the same time, but you can carry 10 wands in some way or another.
Right.
And I same with this, that you're looking at this. Let me just look at the question exactly. You've been asked to take on a new project at work that feels overwhelming and beyond your current skill set. So find out, are you telling yourself the truth of the story, or are you putting up a wall for yourself?
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Are
not
you making it harder than it has to be?
exactly. Or are you handling it the right? Are you carrying that burden, or are you do you intend to go about it the long way around, like, or the hard way around, like carrying all 10 swords, 10 wands together? Or again, can you delegate? Can you use other skills that you've got? You mightn't be able to do everything that's required for this new project, but do you know someone who can? Is there someone in your set or in your immediate vicinity who can be a help to you, who can be is well up on IT or well up on maths or well up on something that could be useful for you? So don't give up too easily. Find out what's behind the veil. Find out what and then if having discovered that what are they actually asking, what did this card say about how to handle the pressure? I mean, that's the basic question. How do you handle the pressure?
I would say never let them see you sweat.
Mm.
Right? If you're
I'd
hiding,
say 9 of Wands, persevere.
Persevere.
don't show all your cards.
How do
Yeah,
you handle
three cards, there you go.
Don't show all your cards at once or something at that.
kind of important to
Yeah.
I think it's important to have your chest of assets available to yourself. Have your little box of assets, and see, what have I got? I got this, I can do this, I could do that, I can get so and so to do this other thing. So have your box of possibilities available to you.
Yeah.
That's how it strikes me, that you don't have to be able to do everything that has to be done in a job, but you do need to know somebody or something that will help you out. And then at the end of the day, go 8 of cups. At the end of the day, if you find it's doing your head in or causing problems at home, or it's just not for you, walk away.
There you
But
are.
don't walk away without finding out whether you really can handle it or not.
Right.
So all this overwhelming crap that you feel like it's over your current skill set, what does this card say about how you handle this pressure? I got the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Rods, whatever.
Yeah.
And I wrote, really? You question yourself? Please, you got this. There's nothing you can't do. It's like, of course, how do you handle that? You don't need to handle it because you already, you can already, it's never going to be an issue. I think you're just too strong and too capable to even let that happen. So that's my answer, my response to that. I'm doing shorter responses than you guys. Oh, and I think I sat and I looked at these too well before I wrote. So the next one, number 5, you've been financially irresponsible lately. Shame on you.
Oh.
And a bill you weren't expecting just arrived. You're worried about how you're going to make ends meet. What does this card tell you about your next move? Okay, so you've been overspending. A big bill just came in. If you pull a card to find out what is your next move? Take it away, Anne Marie.
Okay, well, what I got was the sun. Where is the sun? There we are now. The sun.
The sun. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Sun.
hard. There you go.
All its glory. The sun in all its glory.
Yeah.
So I said, what was that telling me? Let me look. What I've written down is focus, focus, focus. I could have been able to focus that card a bit better now that I think of it. Anyway, shine some light on your current spending trends and see where you can make short-term savings that will take the pressure off in the short time, because the sun is telling you the sun will come out tomorrow. All is not gone. Everything will turn out nicely. Just see, what can you, are there even subscriptions, say internet subscriptions, that you've forgotten about, that you joined up years ago, or something that's coming in on a monthly, payments that are coming in on a monthly basis and being taken from your bank account that you have almost forgotten about. See how you can cut down in the short term, because this you were saying, what were you saying?
Well, it came in. It was an unexpected large bill came in.
Yeah, but
It's like, what's your next move?
I mean, you're going to have to pay it anyway. Let's put it that way. So if it's huge, obviously, if it's a huge financial thing, you're going to have to borrow. I mean, that's as straightforward as that. You're hoping it's not as bad as that. But if it's something that you can ride the tide with, then see what you can cut back on for maybe a month or two. That will keep you afloat until you pay
You
the bill.
know, and what you're saying is it makes sense, Emery, but if you come back to just the sun as a step, I mean, we usually see the sun as, oh, all will be well, don't worry, right?
Mm,
Don't worry. Well, don't worry isn't your next move.
No.
It's like, all right, so what about laying it out in the open, putting it out, you know what I'm saying? Putting it out there so that, or looking for what's obvious, right? What is your next move?
mm.
Looking
That's shining,
for
shining and
what would be obvious, because the sun, you know, is you can't hide from the sun, right? There's no shadows, there's no hidden agendas, there's nothing hidden with the sun like there is with the high priestess. So it's like you know, what is your next move? What is the most obvious? Or what
that,
can you shine a light on that will help you?
that's what I was thinking about
Bringing the
focusing
sun in. Yeah.
is. Mind you, it's obvious with the sun you've got burnt, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty.
There you go too. It's like that's pretty funny because that's
I
true.
just thought
Yeah.
on where you're spending or where you're spending needlessly. So it's the same. It's what Lynn was saying. Shine a light and see what on what's happening in your life that would help you out on this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good.
D?
Um, I pulled the Six of Pentacles,
6 of Pentacles, right?
which receive, give, take. You're gonna have to pull something from some spot to split it up and give it to another, or maybe ask someone to help you. Maybe they'll have to share their wealth, and hope they're a Queen of Pentacles who is a good budgeter.
Somebody who
But
can pull a buck out of thin air.
there you
Mhm.
go.
That's my
And
queen of practicality.
yeah, there you go. And actually that card was next to it. Um, but what does it say? It just says receive help or take from one to work out with another. Maybe you have to work with the sun since you got burned. You may have to go in and negotiate, ask for something. But in all of the, every time I see the Six of Pentacles, I always think about not just sharing what you have, but possibly asking for something and not being afraid of what to
Mm.
ask for
You
that
need to
help.
be
Kind of
able
like
to,
the five.
you know, we see that card as the card of generosity, or we're told that mainstream that's a card of generosity, but it's
Not
one
always.
thing to give, but it's a whole other ball game to allow yourself to receive as well. You know, that's like half the battle. But when I see, I just don't have as good of a feeling about that card anymore as I used to. I
No,
don't, I see, you know, that thing comes up in relationship readings for me. And I always want to know who's wearing the pants in this relationship. Because to me, you've got people on their knees and you've got somebody standing over them and holding something over them. And so to me, that's a hard card for me because I always see it as an unbalanced relationship. So
I
for me,
agree.
I would think that that would mean it's time to take out a loan, or you're going to have to borrow money, or you're going to have to be obligated to someone to get this
Yeah,
matter
I
resolved.
Yeah.
um I agree that that's what you
Yeah.
need to, or you need to. It might even be taking you a step further and saying, do you really want to be under a compliment to your friends? Do you really want to be pushing them for money? Maybe go the other way, go to the bank or go to somewhere that you don't have a connection with, so that you're not putting yourself under an obligation to anybody, that you're not in the position of kneeling to anybody, and be made feel less than that. The donor and the person who's giving out the money always seems to be very superior, saying, well, no, I'll give two to you and three to you, but maybe you don't deserve three, so I'll give you one. It always makes me feel as if there's a judgment going on there, and they're very much um, the big guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
So,
me.
so I pulled the magician. So now we've all pulled the magician.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I pulled the magician, and I put it's time to pull a rabbit out of your hat. You've got resources. The one thing we know about the magician is all of the elements are on his table. So you've got the resources. You may not realize it at first blush, but when push comes to shove, you'll figure it out and apply them accordingly.
Mhm.
So you might have to rob from Peter to pay Paul this month. You might have to cash in something, that, or a gift certificate or something that you weren't counting on, right? You might have to, but it's there. You just don't want to have to spend it. So it's you're worried, but are you really, what does it say here? I'm gonna go back to, you're worried about how you'll make ends meet. Well, let me finish that sentence. You're worried about how you're going to make ends meet without having to, disrupt your financial plan. Maybe you already have a financial plan. You gotta work with it. So anyway, just
Work your magic.
just an idea. All right, number 6. Well, okay. Notice your biggest work rival just got a huge promotion and you're feeling a mix of jealousy and anger. What does this card reveal about how you should process this feeling and move forward? So you're jealous. Somebody got a promotion and you didn't, and you're angry about it. How are you going to process this so you can get past it? What'd you get, Emery?
Okay, I got the 9 of Cups.
Wish card.
Wish card. Can you see that? Is that focused?
No, but we know what it.
Well,
know
Put it in front of your face. There
Anyway,
you go. That's how you have to do it. That's perfect. See, okay,
yeah,
because it's trying to focus on your face. So when you put those cards in front of
yeah,
your face when you blur your background, that'll help.
yeah.
So, Marie, does
Okay,
that tell you? Is,
what,
do
what
you
does that?
have a shadow side to that card?
Oh, I do. Yeah, it can be overindulgence. That there's too much going on. What I got for this anyway, I'll have a think about the shadow side in a half an hour. The 7, what are they? The 9s mean. Okay, what was the actual question? Hold on a second to read to see.
So your biggest rival got a promotion and you didn't, and you're jealous, and how are you going to process it?
Should you process to move forward? And the 9 of Cups is telling you that you're almost there, that things are going well for you. As you were saying, it's the wish card. It's the everything is happy. This man is sitting down in absolute content with himself, with all his cups lined up behind him. But what I'm saying is, what's missing from this happy picture? What is it what's making you sad about it? Where do you want to be that you're not? What do you really want to, what would it take? Okay, what would it take to make you happy? This is what I took out of that.
Yeah.
And what would it take to make you like the 9 of Cups? Okay, your rival got a job. That's his good luck. That's what would it take to you happy? That may or may not make him happy. It's not going to make you, no reason for it to make you unhappy. Figure out what you want and go for it. And forget about him. Wish him well that he got a job. And see what would it take to make you happy and what you can do about achieving that. I think that's what I've written down there.
Yeah.
Instead of resenting, because it's not going to do you any good. He's got the job now. Isn't that what it says? That your biggest got a huge promotion. So he's got the job. No amount of ill feeling on your part is going to affect him, but it can affect you. But don't let it stop your light from shining. Figure out where you can get your next step to move forward as something that you want, so that you can be in your happy card.
Sometimes I've looked at this, this wish card, and sometimes what I've seen is, it seems like in every single one of them there is a drape or a curtain.
What's it?
And what's hiding, what's behind that?
Yeah.
What is behind the motivation to be sitting there smug? Because he looks rather smug. But it kind of reminds me, my mom and dad were both had their own sales and service businesses. And I remember my dad used to say, when anybody asks you how business is, tell them it's great, no matter what. Always tell them it's great. But also, I've seen this in health readings before when people say, "Oh, how are you doing?" "Oh, yeah, I'm just fine," when they're not. They just, it's about putting on appearances. It's about wanting to look fine, wanting people to think you're fine when you're not. So in that shadow side of that card, it could say, you know what, you can feel what you want to feel. You can process it in your own time, but don't put, don't rain on somebody else's parade. Don't, deal with it yourself privately. Don't put it out there. Don't show it.
I agree. Yeah,
Be gracious.
exactly. That it's not really going to gain you anything.
No,
And
you're
the
right.
other, you might get some brownie points for wishing this person well, because it might be something that will help you out down the road.
Be a good loser.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's not going to help you by showing in any way that you're resentful of it.
How about
So-
you, Dee?
Well, I pulled the temperance card, and it basically said, kind of like what Anne Marie was saying, be patient. It's not your time yet. But then I asked myself, was I feeling jealousy or anger? Which one was I feeling? And so I asked again, and then I got the moon. I think what it did, it made me feel insecure. And
Mm.
I
Yeah,
probably
it helps to know, doesn't it? It helps to
myself.
know where that comes from, where the anger and jealousy what does it really come from?
Mm.
Yeah.
So to me, I just have to be patient. It's a timing thing,
Yeah.
and it's not my time. But I'm gonna need to keep my path open
Yeah.
because, like Anne Marie said, I may need to use that person down the way. I don't want to burn.
Be smart.
Burn
It is a
bridges.
work, it is a work context. So
work.
be
Yeah.
smart.
Yep.
So I got the Queen of Wands again.
Oh,
I got it a second time. And I have on here, put on that stiff upper lip and never let them see you sweat. You are so creative. You'll have some new goal taking up all your mental space tomorrow.
Oh,
wow.
So that's how you're going to deal with it. You're going to find some other creative outlet for it, and let that be your next new big thing that you're thinking about.
I remember someone saying at one stage, I like the sound of this very well. They were saying, if you don't have what you want, start working at wanting what you have.
Yeah,
There you go.
I love that.
There it
Okay,
is.
so number seven is number seven. You're single. Oh, I like this question. It's funny. You're single and you have a friend who keeps trying to set you up with everyone, I'm gonna say she meets. You're tired of the unsolicited matchmaking. What guidance does this card offer about setting a clear boundary without damaging the friendship?
Where did I get that? Or what did I get for that? That is number.
That's number seven.
7. Yeah,
Am I missing a card?
okay. Is it me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's this coming over to my face, and what I've got is
Oh,
card. The judgment card. So to me, that's a wake-up call anyway, always a wake-up call. Consider what I've written down. What I'm saying here, what happens in when the judgment trumpet blows, what we're told will happen is you've got to stand up, come clean, and take your punishment. Isn't that right?
Right.
So what I was saying here is come clean and make your feelings known in no uncertain manner. Don't leave her in any doubt that you don't want or need or appreciate her doing this anymore.
Okay.
Great. She mightn't like it, but you don't like what she's doing. And she might feel she's doing you a great favor. I think what are the
I'm
actual
sure she does, or she wouldn't be doing it. I mean, it's you almost have to contend with a little bit of understanding where that she's trying to help. She's just not doing it in the most favorable way.
Right.
So what the actual question is, what guidance does this card offer about setting a boundary without damaging the friendship? So I would say in the nicest possible way, set her straight. Appreciate what you've done and say, I can see exactly what you're doing, and maybe a few months down the road that will be helpful for me, but not now. So thank you and no thank you.
Dee?
I got the Queen of Swords again, which basically says be direct. Tell them how you
be very
feel.
direct. You mean business.
Please don't do this anymore. I got this.
Yeah. Tell your truth. Speak your truth.
Yep.
So I drew the Two of Pentacles. And by the way, a little while ago when I said I got the Magician, I actually held up the Two of Pentacles, and I meant to hold up the Magician. But I got the Two of Pentacles, I got the Two of Pentacles. this is what I wrote. This is a card of alternate solutions, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is this balancing act. So why cut her off completely? She might end up bringing someone worth meeting. So I might establish some guidelines for her to follow when proposing a new introduction. Something that isn't so imposing on me, such as meet them for coffee somewhere and let them meet for coffee somewhere and let me accidentally run into them. If I like what I see and hear in the first couple of minutes of small talk, I might sit down and join them. If I walk out quickly, there's your answer. It's,
Bingo.
that's the
I
that's
wouldn't
the
like,
guidance I would give her. Do it like that where I have an out. Give me an out. Don't just stick me. Because
yeah,
she means well.
yeah.
She means well, she wouldn't be doing it. Anyway. All right. Two left. You just spent a whole weekend scrolling through your phone, feeling like you accomplished nothing. I've never done that.
Never, never.
What does this card advise you to do to break out of this unproductive cycle?
Yeah.
Emery.
Okay, well, for that, putting it in front of my face, I got the 7 of Wands.
Ooh.
Here you have a man that's back
That
into
looks like a lot of scrolling coming at you.
well, not for me now. I obviously wouldn't do anything like that. I would don't waste time on YouTube hour after
Oh
hour,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
and all. I wouldn't do that. But for other people who are in that predicament, so I'm saying this person is obviously under severe pressure, has been backed or has backed himself into a corner. And what is the question? A weekend scrolling on your phone. Okay. So what could consider your options. This is what I've written down. I'll have to rethink it now when I see it. Consider your options. What reaction would you like? That doesn't make sense. Sure, it does. No, at all. Am I reading the wrong thing?
No,
Number
what it's asking you, the question is, what advice does the card give you to break this unproductive cycle?
but what I've written down does not make sense. I must have been answering another question, I think, anyway. So we'll
Well,
have it again. So what reaction would you like to break this
unproductive cycle.
I tell you,
Yeah.
we will switch cameras to D while I'm having a rethink because what I've written down doesn't seem to make
Okay.
sense now
Well,
anymore.
she's gone, so I'll put mine out there. I got the Hermit. And you know what? Unplug. That's all I wrote. Unplug. Because he's sitting up on the mountaintop all by himself in the dark, in the quiet. And boy, I'll tell you it's so hard. It's so hard sometimes to unplug. But don't you find that a lot of times, I mean, the scrolling has become easier and easier on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and all that. But I get on a roll and I just can't. It's like 2 hours later, I'm still scrolling through watching stuff. But
Yeah.
I find that I like funny dog videos. And so I'll scroll and have you seen I shouldn't even be talking about this stuff because here I go. But I love those Air Force ones, especially with the Blue Angels where the ground crew, is like turning on and then they go like, they do all these funny things and then, and to the sound of silence, I love those. But to me, it's a way of just, being just something that can take my mind off of everything else. It's a way of decompressing after a tough day. And there are a lot of other ways, probably more productive ways to decompress, but it makes it so easy for us to do, and the problem is when we just rely on that alone and don't make any effort to do anything else. But yeah, that's kind of that one. We'll come back to D. Last question was I'm going to go ahead and hit D.
Yeah, I have to run. I just got a phone call.
Okay.
I will say number 8, I have the Tower, and number 9, I have the Fool.
Okay.
And I'm so sorry I have to run.
No, that's okay. And
Okay,
Anne Marie and
so
I will
this-
carry it on and we'll talk to you next time.
Okay,
Her-
thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Regardless.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have to say, stumped with this question. Not that I'm stumped with it, but I can't imagine why I wrote down what I did. It says you spent a whole weekend scrolling through your phone, feeling like you accomplished nothing. What does this card advise you to do to break out of this unproductive cycle? And I've got the 7 of Wands. So, do you know something? I've often thought about this 7 of Wands as it comes immediately after the 6 of Wands, where you're riding on the horse, you're the victor, and everyone is saying you're great. And then you move on to the next card, and they're thinking you're getting above yourself. Now, I don't know where all this is coming, but what I generally think is stand back and do nothing. Now,
Well,
how you stand back,
I gotta say, there
right?
comes a time. This is why we journal. This is why we take the best of the things that we hear from other people and we journal them. My journal is 42 pages long, and I am not opposed to pulling it out every now and then and saying, how could this card relate to what we're saying? Um, this is another card of resistance and defiance. So resistance has something to do with it. I think that, we are resisting. What are we resisting? And that might be it. Let's say if this is a card of resistance, by sitting and scrolling over and over again, by trying to find something more productive to do, what are we resisting? I think we might be resisting just resisting wanting to have to get back into some intellectual thought that, sometimes we just need to let go of that. So I think it's a distraction, right?
Yeah.
It's a distraction. Some of these things fit and some of them don't. But it's, holding things at bay. It's like feeling strongly about something and not in a negative way, but,
Mm.
uh, I think it's just,
And
I think resistance is good because it's like that, because then it makes you question, why are you resisting? Why are you trying to why do you need the distraction? Because you're unproductive, because I think you just need a break.
mm. But
It's
as well,
like that.
now that you say that about resistance and looking at the 7 of Wands, it strikes me, number one, it's you're taking the easy way out for some reason. You've just had enough and you don't want to continue with what you're doing. So you're taking the easy way out. There's no expectation of you when you're scrolling. You're just
That's true. That's true. I,
so
I have more expectation of it.
yes, yeah, exactly.
Entertain me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
you
Anne Marie, let's move on. Let's hit number 9.
but first of all,
Oh,
can I that they're asking what can you do? What can you do to break out of this unprotected cycle? So I would maybe suggest having a small list of 3 things that you could do that you don't hate too much, but that are on your list of to do.
well, the first thing you got to do is you got to put the phone down. You
You
know,
got to put,
you have to
when
put the phone down. So, and if you can just put the phone down and get up and walk away, you'll find other things to do.
that,
You'll find something else other than what you don't want to do. So I think it's just, it's having that strength to actually put the phone down. That can be the hardest for all of us.
do you know what you could do, Lynn, as well? Now, I like that idea. I mean, that is straightforward. Put the phone down and move.
Yeah.
That's or what you could do is to make yourself do that. Set a boundary and say, look, I like this. I want to relax. I'll give myself 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour doing this.
Yeah.
And then have the thing on your phone, your alarm coming on your phone, and stick with that. Okay, when
Yeah.
you're then put the phone down. So you mightn't put the phone down immediately when you think about it, but give yourself something so that you can give yourself something better.
Right.
Uh,
All right.
or
Let's hit the last one. You show up at a costume party and you're the only person who actually dressed up.
mm,
Everyone else is in regular clothes. What does this card tell you about embracing your over-the-top commitment? And I don't remember what Dee said the last card was for the number 9, but for this one, or number 8, but for this one, she said it was the Fool. And it's
Well,
like,
the one before that was the Tower.
oh, well, yeah, let's move on from number 8.
Mm.
Let's move on to this one. But I thought the Fool was interesting, because you're feeling a little foolish, but it's like, embrace, embrace the, you know, just the hilarity of the situation. It's like I would be so shocked if I showed up someplace and I was the only one dressed. I think that is so funny. Um, I I got a card that wasn't my favorite. I got the 5 of Wands, for this.
5 of Wands.
Yeah, and it's like boring. But this is what I wrote. This is what I found in my journal. I had a hard time equating that, equating it. But I got this out of my journal, and I thought this really was good. The 5 of Wands teaches us to cope with indifference. The card asks, when you are put in a situation where you and others display your stuff, how will you let that moment influence you? Will you hold fast to your abilities and strong in your identity, or will you back down to the competition and let others define you? So think of it. So think of how this means when you roll with the punches. And I think that's in a competitive way, but it's true. It's like, so here you show up. Are you going to let people, people are going to laugh at you. So you laugh at yourself,
Mm. Yeah,
don't
that
don't be
five.
afraid to stand out
When
of
you
the
when you
crowd.
when you think of it, your 5 of Wands there can lead you to believe that some people will have differing opinions. Some people will think you're great. What are you doing? Others will think of what are you doing? So the two lots will say, what are you doing? And what are you?
Listen, I think any grown adult that shows up dressed up in some ridiculous contraption for for a costume party, especially that the right time of the year, I think everybody would enjoy that. I think everybody would get a kick out of it. So
So
yeah,
okay, so my card then is for that is
put it in front of your
the
face.
the three of here we go.
There you go. Oh,
Three
3 of Wands.
ones. So what I'm saying, very similar to what you're saying, really, Lynn.
Yeah,
The threes are about creativity and expansion and seeing the
right.
bigger. Um, my idea, well, two things strike me. Number one, if you think you're heading to a costume party, wear something that's going to make you look good. So that at least if something like this happens, people are saying, wow, you look good, instead of, who told you to dress like a chicken? Um,
Or a grown
yeah,
man in pink tights and a
yeah.
tutu.
So wear something that is going to make it like the Queen of Sheba or something like that, that's going to make you look nice and still be, if that's what you're doing. And that, or the other thing is, come up with a story that will turn the story to your advantage. In other words, make sure you're the victor, not the victim.
Oh, that's great. And that goes well with my card too on the 5 of Wands, so that would be great.
Yes,
Well, that's
yes,
kind of fun.
mm,
And yeah, these are it's just ways of looking at different cards and how they come up. It's a good practice. Anne Marie, I got to tell you, and I don't have it in front of me, and I'm not going to go get it right now, but because we're already over the time. But I want to say that the year spreads deck that you had recommended way back. Oh, I
yes.
love that thing. I got that thing from you or because of you.
Oh,
And
very.
yeah, if you have it handy. Anyway, it's 52 cards and it's got a layout of anywhere from 1 to 7 cards on one side. And then on the back side of it, here,
There you
put it in
go.
your front of your face. Put it in
That's,
front of your face.
can you see it?
Pull it
Yeah,
back a little bit. Pull it back toward you. Oh yeah, it's not going to let you in. Do it. I'll put it down below everybody. But
yeah.
it's a deck of 52 cards and they've got the layout on one side. It's got the questions on the back side. And it's broken down into 4 elements and it's growth and let me see if I can remember. Growth, shadow, um oh, shoot. Anyway, there's 2 others. And each one of those has You know, so under growth, you know, the questions that day might be about confidence. The next day it might be about something else. But
Mm.
go ahead.
The other two were seasons of change and seasons of care.
Oh, that's right. And I'll tell you, every morning I have it sitting on the corner of my reading table, and every morning I shuffled them really, really good. So you know, and then I just started taking the one off the top because I started pulling the same one too often. You know, it was bothering me. But every morning I pull one and I answer, and boy, is that helpful. And that is not a bunch of spreads or questions meant for you to ask other people. Those really are meant for you to ask yourself.
Mm.
And what a wonderful deck that is. And I don't typically, you know, I got away from pulling cards every morning for myself, but this is great because it's specific questions and to make you think, you know, and it's not about, they're not predictive. It's just, it's about self, you know, about self-knowledge and learning more about yourself. And so, especially for people who are going through shadow work, that's great. Well, Anne Marie, thank you. It's just you and me, girl. We're the last two in the bunch today,
Down
but
to business, Marlene.
we'll be back next month and we'll come up with something. And I'm getting ready to do a video on just a update channel update video that I'm going to put up as a feature. I need to revamp my Learn Tarot program. And I am between the shop and, oh, by the way, I'm going into a new shop. Not no as a guest reader. I've got a couple of people that are interested in, not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm going to be doing this. I have this debut weekend with these people. And I'm still at the Mercado right now, but I just have so many things going on. I just don't have enough time in the day, and I worry about, you know, I worry about not putting enough on YouTube. But right now, I just need to take a break. I think everybody does, you know, from time to time, just needs to take a little break. But I'm not going to take a long one, but probably a couple of months just to get one program done off my plate, and then get excited about what videos I'm going to do next. So I don't know what we're going to do next month on this thing, but we'll come up with something.
You will think of something, Lynn.
I
You
know.
always.
Thanks, Anne Marie. You take care, and I'll see you soon.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.